super nosy and want to know other people's financial situation because money is something we never talk about. So we can never know how much debt our friends have, or we can never know how much people have in their bank accounts, or how much they have saved for retirement, or what their financial situation is like right now. We just go based upon the clothes they're wearing and the cars they're driving and the things that they own. But what if behind the scenes we could actually get a real feel for what is going on in their financial life? And we can look at entrepreneurs and coaches and freelancers who have businesses or who started businesses, and we can see how much debt they have, personal and business, how much money they're making, and what they need to do in order to hit their financial goals. Today's video, I'm talking with a coach who has $45,000 in credit card debt and who wants to be able to work with tons of nonprofits all over the world, get them funding, and also be able to have a lifestyle where her bills are paid. And she also has an additional $10,000 to spend every single month on whatever she wants. So I'm going to show her the 4 steps she can take in order to hit those goals in her business. Let's get into it. Okay, so for this case study, I'm going to be looking at a nonprofit consultant coach. She's also an assistant professor, making around $3,000 a month. She has around $45,000 that's all in credit card debt. And she wants to stop living paycheck to paycheck and bring home an extra $10,000 every month. She also included this extra tidbit of information. Her business right now is making an average of $1,500 every 3 months, so probably an average of $500 every single month. She wants to be making $45,000 a month from her business. And then she included her big dream, which is to be in business for 5 years and have helped at least 1,000 nonprofit organizations raise over $50 million, which is so exciting. And I love that she included this part too. Okay, so here is my 4-step personalized plan. And if you're watching this, feel free to take a whole bunch of notes because the 2 things I'm going to get into are the emergency bucket and the 1 month ahead. And they're going to feel maybe a little bit complicated, but it's really simple. But this is probably when you want to take notes. So her 4-step personalized plan is to 1, have an emergency bucket, 2, live 1 month ahead, 3, increase her income, and 4, work on her money mindset. So let's jump right into creating her emergency bucket. Now, for her emergency bucket, if she is within the United States, I want her to create a $1,000 emergency bucket. Now, lots of you might be thinking, Shannon, I can't even stop building debt right now. So this is kind of this $1,000 emergency bucket basically is how we stop our debt from building. Most of us get into debt because we don't have an extra $1,000. So anything that happens, our car breaks down, we have an unexpected medical bill, something happens, and it has to go on our credit card because we have no other place for the money to come from. So if you build a $1,000 emergency bucket, you are stopping the debt from building. And these first 2 phases of her financial plan are all about stopping the debt from building. This is really, lots of people think the way to pay down debt is to get really, really strict with their budgets and then put all of their money to their debt. And that really is not the way to go because 1, it's unsustainable, but 2, it also is just throwing chunks of money without even stopping it first. It's kind of like, you have a wound that's gushing blood. This is the best example, but I'm going with it. You have a wound that's gushing blood. And in order to not cut your arm off, I guess, you have to stop the wound from bleeding. So the first step is to stop building debt. So building up an emergency bucket that is $1,000 will stop that debt from building. Here's always the other thing that comes after I tell everyone to build that $1,000 emergency bucket. I can't save money. Of course, I would have that emergency bucket right now and I wouldn't have to use my credit cards or get into debt, but I can't save any money. I'm already capped out as it is. And honestly, I find a lot of times this is, there are times when this is true, but a majority of times when I look at people's budget, this is not true. This is definitely true for some people, but it's not true for, I would say, a majority of people. I would say a lot of us are able to create some income where we get our nails done, or we get our hair done, or we go out to eat, or we buy takeout, or we buy fast food, right? We have that money that's going towards different things. The most important thing you can do here is to actually create a budget and to see where your money is going. So if you look at right now, it's December as I'm recording this. Look at November's, but like look at what happened to your money in November. Where did it go? Where did you spend it? Are you happy with where it went? Look at other things like, is there any way you can, cut back on something for a little bit? And when I'm talking about people saving this money, it's just temporary. This is just temporary measures. Okay. We're just doing this so we can stop the debt from building. So there might be a little bit of time when we're living a little bit lean, when we have to cut into our budget a little bit more. But we're doing this temporarily so we can now create a new foundation, actually start tackling our debt. So, biggest thing here is to look at where your money is truly going. Go ahead and go back through your expenses and the places where you spent money for last month. Is there anything that can be eliminated? Was there any place that you realized you were spending a lot more than you thought you were? And now take that money and put it into your emergency bucket. Maybe it will take you 3 months. Maybe it will take you 5 months. Whatever it will take, you're taking little bits of that money that maybe you would have spent, getting brunch with your friends money. You can create more money. Maybe you pick up a couple extra shifts at your job. Maybe you ask for a raise. There's all these other different ways you can go about instead of just eliminating. You can also add money to your current income, whether it's you start a business, you start doing freelancing for people, or whether it's you pick up extra shifts on like Instacart or DoorDash, or you ask for extra shifts at your job, or you ask for a pay raise. There's all these different routes that you can go in order to create that $1,000 emergency bucket. And trust me, when I say you can do this, I created my emergency bucket at the time when I had the least amount of money I was ever making. I was super sick in my pregnancy and my business kind of tanked from that first moment. So I had to get super lean with my budget. And I also realized, hey, I didn't have a business emergency savings and I really needed one. So it was at the time when I was making the least amount of money in my business, I got really lean and decided that this was super important to me. So you can do this too. Okay. Step number 2 is about living 1 month ahead. Now, if you remember, one of her goals that she told me was to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. A lot of us live on the paycheck to paycheck cycle, and that's what gets us into debt. That's what gets that money anxiety at night. That's what gets us the idea of when someone says, that's what gets us the feeling when someone says, we need to lay you off today, or we need to cut back on your shifts. I mean, that's what gives us that panic inducing anxiety around money. But if you can live 1 month ahead of your expenses, this is how you break the paycheck to paycheck cycle. So that we did to save for our emergency bucket. And now instead, we're going to be putting that money into our next month bucket. So when I'm saying buckets, I'm referring to the software that I like to use to budget. It's called You Need a Budget. And in it, I refer to all of the categories where I put my money as buckets. So I love this kind of image because it's kind of showing you basically, your money growing and growing and growing. And I like to think of that like the jar at the end is my bucket from next month. So your next month bucket will come into place after you have, again, it can take 1 month, it can take 3 months, it can take 5 months, it can take 6 months, but you will be so much better off when you use the same skills and things that you did to save for your $1,000, go just a little bit longer. And instead of putting the money into your emergency bucket, it is now going into your next month bucket. So you keep whatever amount of money it is, guys. If it's only like $20 a month, totally fine. If it's $50 or $100, or say 1 month, you go really, really strict and you just cut out everything and you save it all up in 1 month. So you're saving up the amount of money that you need for a month of expenses. This is why you need a budget. This is why you need to understand how much money you're spending, because if we don't know how much money we're spending every single month, we don't know what to put in that bucket. So this is super important here that you understand, how much it costs for you to live for 1 month, because then we're going to start building up that money and we're going to put it into our next month bucket. All right, guys. So now also for this example, for this coach, I'm also going to be telling her in her business, she told me that her expenses are $1,500 a month. What I would like for her to do is I would like for her for a couple months to cut back on those expenses and be super lean. Again, this is temporary. All of this is temporary. It's like we're just getting things on an even keel. We're just plateauing right now. And then from here, we can start to make bigger moves. But this is all, again, just temporary. So, what I want for her to do is, I want for her to cut back on those business expenses and I want her to start putting any money that comes in. So, right now, I know she's averaging around $500 a month. Her business expenses are around $1,500. If she cuts back on those expenses, she can save, she only needs to save around $1,500. It could take her possibly 6 months to do that. And then after that, what you'll see is, this is why living 1 month ahead is so cool, because what you'll see is that you'll be in the month, say she does it by February 1st. So come February, all of the money she makes in February is now not being used to pay February 15th, credit card bill, or, rent on, February 28th. It's all of her money that she's getting in the month of February is now for March's expenses. So she is now not living paycheck to paycheck. She is living 1 month ahead. So any money that comes in February, all of it's already paid for and covered. And now any money that comes in is now going towards March's expenses. So if she loses a client or something happens, now she has that 1 month buffer. And now she doesn't have 2 weeks or 1 week to figure out how to make it work. If you guys have any questions about living 1 month ahead, feel free to put them in the comments below. Okay, now I'm going to tell her to increase her income. Okay, I want to make sure that she understands that she should be paying herself very well for the work that she does. So I can't just did a quick Google search and just came up with these facts. Now, of course, these might not be true for everyone. And this is also based in the United States. So an average range for her is $75 to $175 an hour. So I want to make sure that she is doing that. I want to make sure that she's paying herself this much. And then I gave her this statistic. An average range for a nonprofit consultant's salary is around $62,617. And I want to make sure she is paying herself that. So because I know she's kind of making $500 a month, I want to tell her, aim for $62,000 this year. Now, it's not going to be money that she's going to be paying herself. It's just revenue. But I think this is a perfect starting out point to say, you can make $62,000 this year. You should be able to pay yourself $62,000 this year. But what's wonderful about numbers is there are no emotions to them. They are just straight up facts. Like, this is the number she should be making. This is how much she should be charging. And there's no other emotions to it. All the other emotions that come up, like, am I good enough? Can I do this? Who will pay me that? It's like, nope. This is an average range that someone has put together and compiled from hundreds of thousands of nonprofit consultants. And this is the number you should be charging. No if, ands, or emotions, beliefs, doubts, whatever put into this number. This is how much you should be paying yourself accordingly. You can do this for yourself in your business too. Other ways she can create more money right now in her business or in her professional life. I would say, can you ask for a raise being an associate professor? Can you get more hours? Can you get another job being an associate professor? Is it possible that you can get more clients? Can you go to more networking events? Can you reach out to more people? Can you create relationships with more people? Can you ask for the sale more often? I mean, there are so many different ways that she can create more money right now, whether it's through the path of getting money through being an associate professor, or it's the path through her business. Now, I would go the route of the associate professor just first because it seems like a quicker route to go. Might not be easier, but it seems like a quicker route to go. And then I would start doing the business things. The associate professor track doesn't pay off. All right, cool. I'm going to get really, really, I'm going to put a lot of effort into building my business, into getting a client, and I'm going to be serious about it. There are ways that you can create more money right now. Now, kind of going off that tangent and going into this, these are things I need for you to hear. If you are listening to this and you are a coach and you're in $45,000 of debt, or if you are a consultant, or you're a freelancer, or you're an entrepreneur, And you're like, I have the same situation. I'm in a lot of debt. My business isn't making that much money. I want to be debt free. I want to make a whole bunch of money a month. I want to have $10,000 to just do whatever I want to do. These are some things I need for you to hear. I need for you to understand that you deserve to be paid very well for what you do. I want you to understand that money is just an exchange of services. That's it. Like it's just you give me the service, I give you the money. That's all we're doing here. I need for you to understand that you deserve to manage your money well. You deserve to have more than enough money. But it starts with you saying, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to manage and love the money that I have now. And I'm going to take charge of my financial future because I freaking deserve it. Because you do deserve it. You deserve more money. You deserve freedom. You deserve financial freedom. You deserve to not have money anxiety or money worries at night. And the person who can make that happen is you by getting in control of your money and understanding your money. You deserve to have all of that. One more thing I need for you to understand is that you need to allow money to come to you. And I don't mean like allow in like a woo woo type of way. I mean, allowing money is opening up ways for people to pay you. Like it's asking for a raise at the associate professor job. It's asking for more hours. It's asking someone for the sale. It's connecting with someone saying, hey, I think you would really enjoy this coaching program I have. Or, approaching a nonprofit you really admire and saying, hey, do you guys need a consultant? Or do you have any availability? Or, hey, I looked at your business model. I think you could really, benefit from this, right? It's allowing money to come to you. And I think so many of us shut down when it comes from, time for us to ask for money or when it comes time for us to open up ways for money to come to us. And again, this could be so many different things. It could be, saying like, okay, I'm going to take that part-time job, or I'm going to, do a couple nights doing Instacart or DoorDash or Uber, or, just doing random things to make money or freelancing or whatever it is. It's allowing money to come to you. And are you available for that? Are you making that happen? Are you creating ways for money to come to you? Are you making sure that, on your website, there's ways for people to pay you? Or are you pitching things to your email list? Are you pitching things to your followers? Are you making sure that these opportunities are front and center for people to pay you? Allow money to come to you because it wants to. It does. It really does. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this financial case study. This is my second financial case study. I am having a lot of fun doing them. They have been awesome. My first one was a photographer who was wondering whether she should pay off her house or invest her money. And I gave her a couple tips and tricks on that. She also was wondering how to make her photography business scalable. This specific case study, we were looking at a coach who wants to make an amount of money that leaves her with $10,000 extra every single month. So, what we need for her to understand is that we need for her to look at and manage the money she has right now so she can know what that number is. If she wants an extra $10,000, well, what's the exact number you need right now monthly? What are your expenses right now? We talked about ways that she needs to open up and allow money to come to her, create ways for money to come to her. And then I gave her a step-by-step plan so she can live 1 month ahead and also how she can stop building debt. I hope you guys enjoyed this financial case study. If you did, feel free to give this video a like, a thumbs up, subscribe. There's no like in this. I think it's just a thumbs up. Just give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm releasing 2 more financial case studies. I cannot wait to bring them to you. They are going to be so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know your ideas. Do you agree with this financial plan that I have laid out for her? And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining me. Bye, guys.